It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Welcome in, everyone, to MTCS Cougar Corner, where we talk about the orange and white. And this morning of Christian Peterson with us, as usual, to talk about the Cougars football game last night and nice little road trip for you.
Yeah, drove out to Clarksville. You know, got on the charter and rode out a couple hours.
That kind of how did you go through? And last night, a good outcome, by the way, 27-7 victory. We're going to talk a lot about that. But game day logistics, that can't be something that you handle all on your own, is it?
No, we got Ed Watson. I joke with him all the time that he's our DFO. You know, people always ask, like, you know, as the season gets going, like, hey, what time are you leaving? And I'm like, well, we are going to leave whenever Ed Watson tells us we need to leave in order to get to where we need to get to on time. He's been doing it a long time. You know, we've been to pretty much everywhere we play, we've been to before, so he kind of knows, you know, when we're going to hit traffic, where we're going to hit traffic, what's the best route to go, what the timetable looks like, and so he does a really good job of breaking it down and making sure that we get there when we're supposed to get there.
You know, and that's probably the most positive thing that's ever been said on the Coaches Show about Ed Watson. So,
yeah, no, he does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He does a lot. You know, Ed Watson is he's a huge piece of our program. Like, he does so much stuff that people don't know. You know, whether it's mowing the grass and painting the fields and, you know, organizing our road trips. You know, he does a lot of things that make my job easier.
So it's not like you're trotting out there with a staff of 20 coaches, you know. So, I mean,
right.
there's plenty of work for everybody, but those are some of the things that you just take for granted are already done. And those are the guys you really have to have.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's really good at seeing a need and filling a need. And, you know, again, we're very blessed to have him. He's been around MTCS a long time. You know, he knows the history of it. He knows, you know, you can talk about a team 10 years ago and he knows the players on those teams and he remembers the game that happened then. And so it's fun to kind of hear that history and learn that history. You know, when I was coaching, I had to coach at my high school before I came here. And so, you know, I was one of the guys that kind of knew the history, like I known all the way back to, you know, 2004. I could tell you what happened. And so, you know, we came here to just kind of pick his brain and learn about the history of MTCS. It's been really cool.
It's not every Friday night you get to load up on a charter bus and do all that kind of thing too. So, I mean, that's a neat experience for the guys.
Yeah, no, they definitely prefer riding on the charter.
I bet.
makes the travel a little bit easier, a little bit nicer. But you know, when we go on these the longer road trips, we'll stop at Cracker Barrel and get some food and then head up to our games. So the kids get real excited about all that. And so, you know, again, I thought they handled it the right way. We got a lot of guys that was their first long road trip, and you know, I think when they showed up, they're ready to go and ready to play a football game. So it's always a positive sign.
Is Cracker Barrel one of the, I guess the choices? I don't guess you give them choices, but I mean, is that an easier place to get into and out of with a group?
Yeah, for sure. So we'll call them earlier in the week, let them know how many people are coming. We'll have the orders already put in.
Oh, wow.
We just call them 30 minutes beforehand, and we show up, and the kids' food's ready, and they just bring it out, let them eat, and so we're able to get in and out pretty quick. So it's been really good for us.
Very efficient in that. You just mentioned something about the first big trip for a lot of these guys. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of young'uns, so you know that's part of the whole football experience, though, to be able to go on the road, climb in a charter bus, and do some things for the first time. Sometimes you can be wide-eyed in that too, but your guys showed up to play football.
Absolutely. Yeah, you never know how they're going to react, you know, when you get on the bus, especially on those long road trips. A lot of them fall asleep. You know, when I was a player, you know, most of us fell asleep. And so, you know, being able to wake up and kind of get your body moving again, you know, you're always waiting to see kind of how each team does it, from year to year. Even if you have a senior heavy team, sometimes it takes that group a little bit longer to get going. I thought really, first play we were a little slow, and then after that we were up to speed. I thought we got going pretty quick, and I'm proud of how they were able to lock in and get ready to play a football game.
Christian Peterson with us here on MTCS Cougar Corner. You go to Clarksville Academy, and that area certainly had much more rain from this tropical system than we had here, which we were expected to get, but you had to deal with Mother Nature last night too.
Yeah. So luckily it didn't rain a ton on us during the game. We had a few times where it came down, but it poured right around probably about 4:30, and so the field positions were pretty wet. So, no matter what you did, the footballs were going to be wet. It was going to be slippery. You kind of look at it early in the game. We're driving on our first offensive drive. Ball pops out of our hands. Then they throw a pick, and as we're running back, ball pops out of the guy's hands. And so you could see that everybody was just trying to figure out, how do we hold on to the football right now? It was wet, and, it was a little bit of adversity. And, again, I think we talked about it with the guys, like we were able to fight through it. We're able to don't let things we can control mess us up, right? Like, look, we know the ball's wet. Put two hands on it. Go get what you can. We don't necessarily need to be fighting for the extra yard right now. Go get what you can. Get down. Let's get back in the huddle. Let's go run another play.
So you're talking about the ball being wet. Just, you place the ball on wet ground, it's obviously going to be wet, and it takes a long time, or hours before that. And if it was a heavier rain, then you're going to have to deal with that all night, which I'm assuming you did.
Yeah, for sure. But both teams had to deal with it. And
right.
I definitely think early it was a bigger factor for both teams. I thought kind of as the game got on, both teams were able to make the adjustments, and you kind of started seeing better ball control from both sides. I thought the snaps were good all night. Again, that it's tough on the center, right? No one really notices the center unless the snaps are bad.
Right.
And so, it's things that people don't really think of. As an offensive lineman myself, like, I know how hard it is to snap a football once it starts getting real wet. And you might have to change how you're holding it, how you're snapping it, make sure you got a good grip on it. And again, I don't think that we allowed that to affect us. We just made the adjustments we needed to make, and kept rolling.
Well, your offensive stats are just fascinating to look at. When you see net passing yards 0, that says a lot. But you were able to successfully run the ball, and in the conditions that you had last night, someone may look at that and think, well, but honestly, if you see that some team has 350 yards rushing and none passing, you figure that there's some weather-related thing, right?
Yeah. And I told him on Monday, because we probably over 30 pass plays the week before. We had thrown for over 200 yards and had been successful in the air last Friday. And so we were talking about it on Monday. I was like, guys, look, I don't care if we throw the ball 75 times. I don't care if we run the ball 75 times. Like, how we win the game, I don't care. I just want to win. And so, where the stats fall or whatever, right? Like, let's just do whatever we got to do to win that game that night, and then we'll get back, watch the film, and see what we need to do the next week to try and win that one.
So, when you don't pass the ball that much, the other team obviously knows what you're going to do, and you just said last night, stop us if you can, apparently.
Yeah, we went into halftime, and we had been some of our spread stuff early, still trying to get the run game going, but doing another spread. And we kind of went into halftime and go, look, guys, we're going to get in our base. We're going to put 11 guys in a phone booth, and we're going to run right at them. And let's see if they want to play that game for the rest of the second half. And our kids were excited about it. They were excited for the challenge. They were excited to get to go on there and just go play physical and kind of get back to just our base stuff. And I thought they executed well. And, we thought we moved the ball well. And, it was a successful night.
I can't remember exactly how the scoring went, but I mean, it was within a touchdown for a long time in that ball game. So, I mean, it wasn't, and you won 27-7, but it wasn't like, it was some big, huge blowout. I mean, you had to earn everything you got last night.
Absolutely. And again, when you're dealing with those things and things aren't really going, as smoothly as you'd like them to go, being able to understand that, like, look, it's just about the next play. Go play the next play. Go play the next drive. And what happened has happened. Let's look at it on the film and see where the mistake happened. And let's go fix it and let's go get a next drive. And I thought our defense played fantastic. They got put in a couple tough situations, and they answered the bell every time. They were really physical. They flew around. Offensively, I thought we moved the ball really well throughout the game. We had, we dealt with some penalties last night, and, really it's one of those deals where whether or not you agree with the call, it doesn't matter. That's what got called, right? So don't allow the refs to frustrate you. Don't allow the refs to get you out of your game, right? Like, that's what they call it. It is what it is. I'll talk to them. You guys just run your play, and, let's just go keep playing. And I thought, I thought they responded well to that. And I thought they just were able to get back in the huddle, regroup, and go play another snap.
Time of possession was within 10 seconds. I mean, so you were obviously much more efficient on offense than they were, and that's a testament to the defense, your defense.
Yeah, no, I thought they played fantastic. They're starting to see it a little bit better. They're starting to react a little bit faster. We talk about it all the time, like, our trigger's got to be good, and you got to just trust your eyes. And so I thought earlier in the year they would see it, you'd see them see it, and then they'd still take one more step before they trigger. And now they're starting to see it and go. And so, I mean, those are the difference of, the 6-7 yard gains and the 2 yard gains, is that 1 second of just going. And so I think as our guys keep playing, they're able to play better and better, and create situations that allow us to be aggressive on defense and let them just go play football. And I think they've answered the bell.
Well, Eric Bowling was certainly a beast defensively last night. 10 tackles, 2 sacks, and he kind of led your defense. Owen White, 8 solo tackles, and you can talk about anyone else, but those are a couple of stats that kind of stood up off the page, and you had a couple interceptions last night.
Yeah, Eric is flying around. So glad he came out, baseball kid. Again, he's one that every time we play a game, every practice we have, he just gets a little bit better. He's really physical. He's really athletic, and, he's one that the game is starting to slow down for him. He's starting to see it. He's starting to understand, what the offense is trying to do to our defense. And, he just keeps getting better each week. Owen White, can't say enough about him. Senior, he's been through the fire with us. Really good leader. He's last night was his last game playing in the cast. And so he gets an interception with this huge cast on his hand. He does anything you ask of him, plays really hard, make sure everybody's lined up. James Hancock gets an interception, just a good play on the ball. He always seems to be in the right spot. And so, when you always seem to be in the right spots, because you're doing the right things. And so he's there to capitalize if the other team makes a mistake. And, he's done it back-to-back weeks now. And he's playing really well for us. Thought D-line's playing much, much better. They're starting to understand their gaps, their responsibilities, how physical they need to play. I think they're playing much, much better against the run. Again, that helps our linebackers out, right? Because they're able to command double teams. It lets our linebackers run around and make plays. And so really just kind of all the pieces fitting together is huge for us. Secondary-wise, thought we covered really well. I think they only completed really like 4 balls against us. And so, when you're able to do that, like, you're covering well in the back end, between Briggs Boyd and Jaden Sanders and Shy Murphy and James Hancock, and even Trey Ewell got out there for a little bit, a little freshman we got. And, at no point am I worried about, big mental mistakes or anything like that. Like, they're going to be where they're supposed to be. And, again, they're just playing better and better each week.
They were 4 of 13 for 58 yards, but had 2 interceptions. So, that is a pretty interesting stat when you break it down that way. They did try to put the ball in the air, but only 4 successful, and 2 of those were interceptions that gave your offense the ball back. That's about all you can ask for.
Absolutely. And again, it's just kids understanding where they're supposed to be and doing what they're supposed to do. And, again, really proud of them, really proud of the growth that they've had from week 1 to now. And, we talked about after the game, like, guys, that's not the best game we're going to play all year. Like, there's still more. Like, we can still be better. It's not perfect right now, but there's a lot of things that are positives. There's a lot of things that we're doing better, right? They're seeing the growth, they're seeing the progression. And so, I think when they're able to see, that the positives coming out of it, it makes it that much easier to show up and keep putting the work in.
If your team was the same team as it was when you played Columbia Academy, it's not 27-7, is it? I mean, it may be close, or it may not even be in the win column. I mean, you just never know about that. But the growth from the last time you and I had the chance to talk to now is really remarkable.
Absolutely. And again, it's testament to the kids, right? A lot of times coaches get, when you win, they get the praise, and when you lose, they get the negatives, and you hear about it. But in reality, the coaching staff, I think, has done a really good job of understanding where we are right now and where we want to get to. And I think our kids are extremely bought in, and I think our kids have proven that they can just keep working and they can keep getting better. Like I said it early, and I'll say it again, like, there's not a group that I would trade them for. Right? This is a really good group. They're fun to coach. They show up, each week ready to learn and ready to get better. And, watching them grow is really probably one of the best parts about coaching, right? Like, you watch the light bulbs start to go off in kids and seeing them understand it. Like, that's a really fun thing about coaching. And, again, so proud of them. This wins for them. Like, they've done everything we've asked of them. They played their tails off, and just so excited for them.
Christian Peterson with us on MTCS Cougar Corner this morning. 350 yards rushing, 228 of those from Briggs Boyd, and you just kept feeding the beast last night, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, again, kind of with the conditions, you snap it to the guy that you're most confident with can catch a snap when it's not perfect. A guy that you trust to understand, to hold on to the football. A guy that, he's a senior, he's been through it. He's played in every game you can imagine. He's done it as a receiver, he's done it as a running back, now he's doing it as a quarterback. He's really grown as a leader, and really excited about him. And again, watching his growth, he comes out last week, throws for 200 plus yards. This week he runs for 200 plus. And again, I think that's just a testament to willing to do whatever it takes to win the game.
You couple his yardage with Shy Murphy's 81 and Lamario Nichols' 41. Those are the guys that got the bulk of the carries, and Briggs can't carry it every single time, and you have to have some others step up, and some good positive yards with not as many carries, but between the two, you kind of had a three-headed monster back there.
For sure. Really, really proud of Shy. Thought he took a huge step in the run game. He's another one, caught over 100 yards passing last week. Now he's running for 80. He's starting to see it. He's starting to understand where he needs to hit it. And so, he is lightning in a bottle. He can go. He's real fast. And so for him, it's, again, just reps, understanding, feeling the hole, seeing where it's going to be. And, being able to attack the defense in multiple ways. And then, Marlowe's one of our young bucks. We got to get him in there late and get him some carries, and he's a guy that's got a really high future. His ceiling is unreal. Like he's a different kind of player, but he's a freshman and he's learning, and so anytime we can get him in and get him a few carries and just get him game reps is going to really help his development.
Coach, you're spending the month of September on the road, and last night was the second of 4 games on the road. And when you look at your schedule with Webb and Friendship coming up and then South Pittsburgh at home, I mean, who made the schedule, by the way? Was that you? You've got a really tough schedule, and you may think, well, Webb, but Webb's not the Webb that you may think you've seen before.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is we just got to focus on Webb, right? We start worrying about 3 games from now, then that's when you end up having a bad week of practice and a bad Friday, right? Like right now, the only game that matters is trying to figure out how we can go and play a Webb team that's playing at a really high level right now. They have a bunch of new guys on their team. They're dynamic, they're fast. They're going to present some challenges. But as we talk about all the time, like I care way more about us than I do about who we're going to play. And so the goal for us is to go in and get better this week and understand what our game plan is going to be and try and execute our game plan to a high level.
When you have someone who makes it easy logistically, and is comfortable for the kids, we've talked about it earlier, I guess, going on the road can be just as fun as playing at home. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think every group's a little different. Some of them really like going on the road. They like playing in the hostile environment. Some of them like playing at home.
Sure.
They like having the home crowd behind them. I think this group is just, they just want to play. They just want to play and they just want to try and win. And so, whether that's at our place or their place or wherever, I haven't seen a huge difference from how they prepare and how they get ready to go play a game. And so, I think that bodes really well for us as we continue down this season. Again, they want to do what it takes to win. And so, sometimes it's going to be running the ball. Sometimes it's going to be throwing the ball. Sometimes, the D-line's going to have a big night. Sometimes it's going to be the DBs, and, I think they're buying into the fact that it doesn't matter what any individual is doing. It's all about the team, and it's all about trying to figure out how to get a win.
And those things you may practice one way, but the game itself dictates you've got to change and do it this way. And weather is part of that. The other team is part of that. They may show you a different look that you weren't expecting. Football is a game of adjustments.
For sure. We never really know how the other team's going to line up to us. There's nobody else that they play that runs what we run. And so, if we were 2x2, 3x1, like a lot of other teams in our classification, then you could turn on the film and lined up against 2x2 and 3x1 and have an idea. For us, we're on our base stuff, nobody else runs that. So you've got to kind of look at, all right, what do they have? What is their base scheme? What do we think they'll do? And then we'll give them 3 different looks throughout the week of these are all possible looks. And then once we get into the game, now it's like, all right, this is what they're trying to do, or these are the 2 looks that they're trying to do. Here's what we like against them. And then we just kind of attack from there.
They have the same problem with you as well. You present something that they don't see very often. So, it works out that way.
Well, for sure. Yeah, I definitely think there's an advantage for us as well. There's, their kids are having to do things that they don't normally do. So, there's definitely pros and cons. But, yeah, I think our kids are buying in. I think they're playing hard. And, like I said, I couldn't be more proud of them, and thought they played really, really hard. And they played with really good energy. And, you do that, you're going to give yourself a chance.
The Cougars are 2-2 after last night's 27-7 victory on the road at Webb School. It's just it's in the neighboring county. Very nice little leisurely trip. So hope all the Cougar fans will get out to watch MTCS play at Webb on Friday. Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Christian Peterson joining us here on MTCS Cougar Corner. We'll be back to wrap things up, give you a look at the scores from this past week in other sports and the schedule ahead. Stay with us. Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Welcome back into MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Let's take a look at some of the other fall sports from this past week. And we take a look at Monday, where we had some middle school tennis. The boys tennis team defeating Blackman 5-0, but Blackman defeating MTCS girls 5-0. It was MTCS JV middle school volleyball with a 2-0 win over Good Pasture. Same score, middle school varsity over Good Pasture 2-0. Varsity volleyball, a win over FRA 3-0. So good start there to volleyball. On Tuesday, PCA edged MTCS golf 157-150. To tennis on Tuesday, middle school girls and boys both victorious. It was the boys winning 5-0 over Stewart's Creek Middle School, closer, but a 3-2 win for the girls' middle school tennis team. Volleyball, JV middle school volleyball, a win over Webb 2-0. And it was also the middle school team winning over Webb 2-0 as well. University School of Nashville defeated MTCS soccer 9-0. And to volleyball, varsity volleyball 3-0 over PCA. Also 3-0 over Columbia Academy this week, that being Tuesday, then Thursday. Middle school football, a 38-6 victor over Clarksville Academy. And it was the football team last night defeating Clarksville Academy again, 27-7. So what is coming up this weekend? Of course, the volleyball teams playing in the border battle. A lot of teams involved in that. That includes JV and varsity. Also starting on Monday, JV middle school volleyball in the first-round quarterfinals, along with middle school, so getting to that time of the postseason. JV volleyball will be at Webb. That'll be coming up on the 16th on Monday as well. Also Monday, cross-country in the TSIA meet, and volleyball will be at Webb on Monday as well. Golf on Tuesday will take on PCA, and it's the tennis team, middle school girls and boys tennis hosting Siegel, and that will be Tuesday as well, 4 o'clock for that. JV volleyball versus BGA on Tuesday. The 5th and 6th grade football team will travel to DCA, that coming up on Tuesday. Also, girls soccer will host St. Andrews Swanee. Tuesday as well, another Tuesday event, volleyball, varsity volleyball hosting BGA. Now let's go to next Thursday, middle school volleyball in the semis and championships there. The varsity team will be at Grace Christian next Thursday. And tennis will be hosting DeKalb on Thursday at 4 o'clock, middle school girls and boys. Then also on Thursday, middle school cross country at the Henry Horton race and girls soccer at BGA. JV volleyball will be at Grace Christian. And the 5th and 6th grade football team on Thursday hosting PCA. And middle school football will be at Davidson Academy. And on Friday, middle school girls and boys tennis taking on PCA. Football, of course, at Webb. And that takes us through, of course, a big cheer competition, the Charger Challenge Showcase next weekend for Middle Tennessee Christian School. That is a look at everything that has been going on this past week and what's to come here this week in fall sports. Hope you've enjoyed MTCS Cougar Corner this morning as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Always love talking to Coach Peterson. He is an A1, great interview, and is all about getting his kids recognition. We appreciate that. Also, want to thank all the other coaches who joined us for the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner this morning. And to my co-host, John Dinkins and Danny Brewer today. Our producer has been Dalton Barrett. I'm Brian Barrett. Hope you will tune in this afternoon, Middle Tennessee football, as they host Western Kentucky, 4:30 airtime, 6 o'clock kickoff. You'll hear it right here on News Radio WGNS. Have a great Saturday, great weekend, everybody, and we will see you back here next Saturday morning for another Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner.